Hi, my name is Kay and I'm from Crown Street Veterinary Hospital, and I'm here to talk to you about introducing baby to your pets. So the most important thing is to stick to a routine with your pet. That would mean continue to take them for walks, stick to regular brushing time, grooming time, playtime, things like that. If you need to change the sleeping arrangements of your pet, as in if your pet's inside all the time and you want your pet to be totally outside when the baby arrives, introduce that a couple of months at least before baby arrives, so it's not such a shock to your pet. The sleeping arrangements of the baby, you can certainly put a screen door, which is what some people do, if you want the cat to be out of the room, which is a good idea. So you can still hear and see baby, but it just limits the access of the cat into the baby's room. We don't want the cat to be up in the cot with baby and sitting too close and on baby's face and things like that. Introduce your cat to the baby, as in bringing something home from hospital that's a pooey nappy or a blanket that the baby's been wrapped in, and also with the dog as well. But it is important for cats to get to know the scent and smell of a new baby. Also, when you're feeding baby, it's important to have your pet with you, particularly your dog. Get your dog to lay down nice and quietly at your feet, so your pet gets used to nice quiet time with baby and mum. Obviously when baby is older and they're crawling and toddlers, things like that, it's a good time to let baby interact supervised, of course, with your pet. Certainly take your dog for walks with the baby in the pram, but never ever tie the dog to the pram. Always have the lead in your hand, so in an emergency you can let go of the dog and nothing happens to the baby in the pram. People can be a bit concerned about germs, hygiene, and also worms that can be transmitted to children. So when you're patting your dog or feeding your dog or cleaning up after your dog, etc., obviously wash hands, just wash hands with soapy water, and don't let the dog lick your baby's face. That also applies for cats as well. Certainly let them come and investigate, sniff, let your baby, when they're older, to pat them, of course, but basic hygiene is what we recommend. Actually get your pets used to being rough handled a little bit, as in, patting them all over their head, which is quite a dominant thing, particularly for dogs. A lot of dogs don't like that, so if you can get your pets used to being patted all over their head, their ears handled, around their faces, that's usually the first place that children will actually go to pat. So that's a good idea to every day handle your pet before baby arrives as well, and make sure that they're handled all over, and really some rough patting as well is a good idea. Plenty of supervision. Again, never ever let children out to play alone with pets. Quite often it can be just a simple thing like poking them and accidentally poking them in the eye, pulling an ear really hard, things like that is enough for them to turn around and snap. Quite often dogs will tend to go very still, their hackles can come up, they may snarl. Okay, try to back away. The most important thing is, if that's happening, just to leave the dog and not to corner. Particularly if they're cornered, they can feel threatened and they may snap or bite. Cats, as in like with Thomas, he wasn't too keen sitting on my lap today. They start to a little bit of a growl, they'll turn and try to mouth you and things like that, and have a little bit of a scratch maybe. If that's happening, it's best not to stress the cat. Just regular patting and grooming, getting them used to that type of thing is usually all that's enough. It's probably not a good idea to get really flustered about it and to throw them outside and shut the door and things like that, as that can form some resentment. The most important thing is, if your pet's really well handled before baby arrives, then quite often you can avoid a lot of these situations. The most important thing is don't corner them. Don't let the child, particularly when they're a toddler, or a little bit older, get them into a corner and they feel like they've got nowhere to go. If that's the case, then they will lash out at you or the baby. It's the same with birds, particularly birds tend to bond with one person in the family more, and if that's a mother and they're not getting enough attention or the same amount of attention, they can actually start to be self-destructive and pull out feathers, squawk, be really noisy. things like that. So it's important with birds also, keep up their routine, spend a little bit of time with them each day as well. Maybe if someone can mind baby or take baby for a walk in the pram, then it's important then you can spend some time with your pets. So enjoy your new baby and good luck.